I am going to ring the crown chakra singing bowl. If you have sound sensitivity, please turn your volume down now. Thanks for being here, everybody. Let us tap right in and see what storyline Spirit would like to share with you. Collective energy, please, Spirit. Collective energy. Collective energy, please, Spirit. Collective energy. All right. Central energy, please. We have the Eight of Pentacles reversed. Vanity. Greed, misdirected activities. Isn't that odd? It's perfectionism, but no motivation. Isn't that weird that those two words would be this particular card in this particular direction? So they're perfectionists, but they're not motivated. Wow. Okay, in the challenge position, we've got the Ace of Wands. Power, potential beginnings, new opportunities, willpower. They could be challenged by your willpower, by your new opportunity. In the subconscious, strength. They're thinking about your strength, your power, your subtle power. You don't go flaunting it around. It's not something, it's strange how some people really, they're like, ooh, they're so strong, and it's odd to me how there's a faction of folks out there who really focus in on that and search for it and then want to exploit that and utilize it in their own manner if they can gain a control over it. And then there's, the only thing they're motivated to is to gain control over somebody else's strength and willpower. If they can puppet them, lead them, control them. In the recent past, the Hierophant's here. Traditional values, high-level commitments. Come on, baby. Come on. Go. Intentions and expectations. We've got the Two of Wands in the upright. Goals have been attained. A reconciliation. Some kind of discovery or plan. in the near future. Ooh. In the near future, we've got the Hanged Man reversed. Somebody's out of control. They don't have any control. They're resisting a change, trying to stall. The lens is being looked through. So we've got the Three of Pentacles reversed. So there's group conflict regarding a Five of Swords in the upright. So this group who has been bringing you conflict are now fighting amongst each other. They don't have any control. They're in a Hanged Man reversed. They're resisting this change. They're stalling. The lens is being looked through. The lens is being looked through is that. So in the environment, the Two of Pentacles. So there's a negotiations, decisions being made, weighing their options. Hopes and fears. Nine of Swords in the upright. Trauma and despair. Somebody's having a nightmare. They can't sleep. And the outcome. Is a Six of Swords in the upright. The relationship ends. You're leaving behind that baggage and you're moving on. And you've got the Page of Cups here. So there's a new love. A new love. Could be a young love. Well, of course, a new love is a young love. It's, day one, right? Full of curiosity. Yeah. Two of Cups. And a new beginning. Collective energy, please. Spirit, collective energy. So somebody doesn't have any motivation. They're uninspired. Whoops. They were misdirected. A vain person was misdirected out of greed. A vain person was misdirected out of greed. A player. They don't have any motivation, so they wanted to take a shortcut. They didn't want to work for it. They wanted to take it from somebody else. There's a tension here. Could be that attention has been brought to this matter. Their challenge is your willpower. Their challenge is your inner fire and your desire to begin again. To begin again. No matter what happens, to always get up and go, go, go. You're strong. You have an inner resilience that is mind-boggling to some folks. Vanity driver. Vanity driver. They tried to drive your mind. They tried to drive your life. But you were too strong. Your willpower was too strong. You said, I'm going to live my life my way. And you did. They wanted to drive you so bad. But here you are in courage, in power, in subtle power. And it's not flashy. It simply is that which refuses to move. So the Hierophant is here. We got teacher and entertainment. We'll need to clarify about this Hierophant. He's not in the reverse, so I don't want to call it out right now. But we've got Hierophant and we've got teacher and entertainment. Intentions and expectations, we have reconciliation. This could be a Hierophant that was doing dirty, vain deeds, driving people in order to get into this position to gain reconciliation. But it could be that it maybe, I don't know, we're just going to have to continue to clarify. That's just a what if, or it could be a could be. It's a what it could be. Yeah, a Hierophant. A teacher who doing stuff for entertainment, trying to get this spiritual throne, wanted to reconcile, wanted to attain a goal, there wasn't able to play around. There's no playing around in this reconciliation. They're out of control. They don't have any control. They're in a hanged man reverse. So they're trying to delay. They got a fear of this sacrifice. Ooh, they're resisting change. Ooh. Ooh, Evermore, and it popped out and then it popped up in the reverse. So they weren't able to get an Evermore. They weren't able to get a contract with somebody on this spiritual throne. You were too strong. You said, no, thank you. So they weren't able to get an Evermore with you. They can't horseplay around. This Hierophant, it's a Hierophant who tried to get with you because they needed to be seen as this spiritual whatever. So now there's group conflict. Whoever they've been working with, they're fighting amongst each other now. They were coming after you now, and they're doing that still. So in this conflict and competition, now the group that has been coming after you, they're fighting amongst each other. And it's like, oh, so now they're fighting each other and they're wanting to fight you. Messenger of love. They were fighting with the messenger of love. This vain driver tried to drive the messenger of love. They tried to overtake the message that the messenger of love was delivering from the spiritual throne. They tried to hijack the messenger so that they could overtake the message and be the ones, be the voice. They wanted to hide you, but you're alive. And they're in trauma and despair. They're having hardship. Objectivity in the reverse. Objectivity is having it's like empathy. It's like having a clear view of both sides of a story. So objectivity, they don't understand. They're not able to comprehend. And you're leaving. The relationship is ending. The relationship is ending between the explorer and the leader. And this explorer who has been facading, pretending to be a leader, that is over. So their relationship with a leadership role is ending, and your relationship with this explorer who's been fighting you for this position that you were too strong to give up, that you refused to give up, it's over. A tribe, a community of people. It could be ancestors, it could be people from a distant past that perhaps you don't have a conscious memory of. You are the creator and you are perfect. An artist, an abundant being with this crazy, not crazy, could be seen as crazy by somebody who doesn't have imagination, I suppose. But you're here in your purpose. Delivering new ideas, fresh ways of doing things, this wonderful, imagination that can generate positive potentials and then manifest them in the world. And if they're really good, then they'll take off because people will pick up on it, right? And manifest more of it. So absence. There's a forgiveness by an absent father. Who perhaps never was absent. You just simply don't see them. There's a backstory to this. You didn't do anything. You're a being of service that they put in the grave. They were jealous of your wholesome optimism. They wanted your things, and they fought you for it. This whole thing has been prophesied. They knew that hardship was coming as soon as your pathway opened up, and they tried to change it. But they couldn't because you're innocent and you focused on taking care of yourself, filling up your love cup, continuing to be a positive presence in the world despite all the garbage that they were putting on you. You shared beauty in the world despite all of that crap that you had to transmute daily. And you were observed throughout it all, and you've been given a promise of a limelight position. You did well. You did well in this conflict with these actors, these kin, who martyred you. And it's time for a visitation from home. Ooh, they're going to make a visit. The true ancestors. here and now, visiting the snake. The true ancestors here and now visiting the snake. The true creator saying, hey, what you doing? You got some splaining to do. Addict? Who's the real addict? The illusions are busted. The truth is out. What storyline they were trying to pin to you, all this garbage that they were doing and wearing masks trying to pin to you, it's all out. And they see. The true ancestors see. So we've got a Hierophant here that looks like they've been teaching the practice of driving others' lives for profit out of greed. Misdirected activity. There's attention being drawn to this greedy, misdirected activity that this Hierophant teacher has been teaching for entertainment so that they can get these positions of importance and be seen as somebody special. What do you know? Oh, they want to fix your connection now. That strikes me as so funny that they actually would even go there after all this. They're vain. They wanted to drive your life. They wanted to drive your new beginning. They wanted your new beginning. They wanted your potentials. They wanted your strength. They wanted your spiritual throne. They're not motivated. Even if they were to be in this position, they don't have the strength or the drive. I mean, they know how to drive others, how to abuse others in the mental body. And in their physical lives, I'm sure, I mean, the levels that these people would go to habits. It's a habitual pattern that they have of messing with the mental body of other people for status and things. There's unfinished business here. See, you're a strong leader. You're on a spiritual throne. You're on your mission, and you are not a shadow creature. Okay. And there's unfinished business. This Hierophant here has been teaching people to hurt others for entertainment and profit. Feeling broken and shattered about this situation. Wants to reconcile. Doesn't want to play around anymore. Ego, prideful. So they don't have control. Okay? They don't have control. You are strong. You are here on your throne. You've got unfinished business. You're handling stuff. And they don't have any control over you or your Evermore or anybody else's Evermore. This religious Hierophant. They're done. They want forgiveness. Third party. A Hierophant teaching this stuff to come against Evermore Unions for entertainment. They're out of control. They're disorganized. Their group is disorganized in their conflict that they're trying to bring to you. There's no commitment. So they didn't get the union. They didn't get the Evermore. The third party did not get the Evermore. They didn't get the commitment. They're fighting amongst each other now. They're trying to negotiate with the messenger of love. The messenger of love is here. This third party does not get the Evermore. The messenger of love is here, and the messenger of love says, I see you and the damage you've caused. And they're not getting this commitment. Doesn't matter. They're fighting for it. They're like trying to fight for it. It's like, that isn't what this is. That's not what this is. They're feeling your absence. They're in trauma and despair because they can't see clearly. They don't have objectivity. They can't see clearly. And they know, this says, I feel like you didn't care. They know that you care. They know that you cared. They know you cared at one point. And now the relationship is ending. It's over between you and this explorer, between this explorer and the facade of their leadership position. Reveal. In the reverse, it says, I want to tell you the truth. They're not telling the truth. They're lying. Everything from them is a lie. So this is lie. So this is an end. The relationship is ending between this false leader, explorer, and their position, because they're a liar. Because they're a liar. So we got soul contract on the bottom of the deck. So we got the soul contract on the bottom of the deck. They don't know what to do because they sabotaged it. They sabotaged their own soul contract. They neglected they neglected everything that they needed to tend to. They made mistakes. And now they're in regret and they want to run away because we're entering a new chapter. And they're not in the leadership position. You are. This Hierophant is losing their position. It's an explorer, whatever. And people are talking about it because they're being separated. And they're in disagreement. They want forgiveness, but it's too late to take any action. They're being detached. You are seen as irreplaceable. And they're like, oh, that's an unexpected outcome. They thought for sure they were going to get the money, right? But instead, somebody wants to have a family with you and tend to your emotional and financial needs. So it could very well be that this Hierophant may have in a previous life or cycle or whatever had a contract with you. And it could very well be that they drove you and that you were just too strong to go into the dirt. So now it's like, oh no. But you see very clearly who they are now. See, they were thinking you were going to be gone. You would never have come to the awareness or the realization. And you would never be speaking. That they would have it in the bag, and that, like so many cycles prior. And they could just keep doing it, while the earth suffered, and all life upon her. Crazy. It's crazy what the freaking mind will do, isn't it? When it gets stuck in a status of ego, that just wants to play around like an overgrown child who doesn't have any responsibilities, who never was taught how to do chores. And somehow they get themselves in a freaking leadership position by being a big bully, murderous thief. I mean, it's just crazy. This can't be the entirety of the world. If this is the crux of intelligence in the multiverse, it just cannot be. Okay? It just cannot be. When you have a system that is entirely overrun by this, it just cannot be. When evermores are flipped upside down, no, man. This is not the intelligent center of the universe or the multiverse. It just isn't. This cannot be. It's a training school, I think. It's a allocated specific place where folks go to be tested. These ones are in regret. They were greedy. There's attention brought to this. They want to mend the connection. They're in regret for driving you out of vanity. It's a habitual pattern. Your willpower was too strong. They have to accept the things that they cannot change. Honesty is the truth, It's the truth. You've got these potential beginnings. You were too strong. You're sitting here on your spiritual throne. You persevered through these challenges, through this horror. You are no dim reflection. Definitely not. And there's unfinished business to do. You're on your throne and there's unfinished business to take care of. You've got a lot of stuff going on. You got a Hierophant here who is teaching people to do horrible things for entertainment. They're feeling broken and shattered. It's like, what? Maybe because they're seen for who they are. They're not this great guru leader, whatever. You got envy in the reverse. It's like they're feeling broken and shattered. They're no longer envied. It's like nobody envies them. It says, I am the same as everybody, but with different challenges. It's like envy in the reverse. Like now they're not the same as everybody. Like they once saw themselves as everybody and now they're not the same as everybody. And it's like they're not, nobody cares about them. Nobody admires them. They've lost their status. They're in a state of doubt. They want to reconcile. They don't want to play around anymore. They can't play around anymore. Their pride got in the way. And there's a change. They didn't get the Evermore. These third wheel enemies, the third party situation, they did not get the Evermore. They don't get the Evermore. They're in a Hanged Man reverse, so they're trying to stall. They're resistant to this change. They don't know what to do. They have a fear of sacrifice. And they're out of control. They don't have any control. So they have a fear of this. It's ending. Their status, this adversity is out of control. They're fighting amongst each other regarding this theft. They weren't able to gain a commitment. They weren't able to get a commitment so that they could be abusive and take from it what they needed. Courage. It came out kind of like this. So they don't have any courage. They didn't get the commitment. They don't have any courage. They don't know what to do. They're fighting amongst each other. They're weighing their options. They want to balance, they want to negotiate with the messenger of love. The messenger of love, they're feeling like part of them is missing. The messenger of love is gone. Like they've lost connection to the messenger of love or to the one who loved them. It could be that the messenger of love is you who persevered on your spiritual throne. You are the messenger of love. It could be that it's you who is making sure that love remains in balance here. And it could be that that is why the world has been out of balance and there's been so much anger and hatred and wars and all of that because they locked you up. And now you're free. You persevered. And we're entering a new cycle. And there's a whole new system that's going to come into play because they couldn't put you in the dirt. You're the messenger of love. You're the one that makes sure love is in balance. And these ones, when they took over, when they martyred you and took over, man, they threw love all out of balance, didn't it? You can look all over the world and see that love was like, where is it? Success. You know that there's no greater goal than to love. And they are feeling your absence. You are the messenger of love. Or messengers. It could be you and your divine kingdom spouse. Since there's 2 on that love card, they freaking martyred the messenger of love, took over that spiritual throne, and threw the freaking realm into chaos. They are not abundant, limitless beings. They just like to spend money and party a lot and have sex. They don't have objectivity. They don't have an understanding of the way things work. They're completely one-sided, which is why everything's out of balance. So they're in trauma and despair because it's over. You are leaving behind the explorer. The explorer and their leadership position is ending. That relationship is ending. This explorer and their leadership role is ending. They are seen as a liar. And we've got guilt in the reverse. It says, I release any beliefs that no longer assist in my soul's growth. They refuse to change. They don't see themselves as guilty, but they are, and they refuse to change. They like to lie. They like to cheat. They like to swindle. They like to hurt people. And we're moving into a period of happiness. Because when you're happy, you know that you're in the right place. And they are in grief because the physical vessel that enshrines your soul is healthy. And they need to surrender their need to control the services that you are here to provide. You and your friends have expanded in consciousness and awareness. You have brought about an opportunity for great growth. And these ones are being denied relationships that serve the higher good. They can't contract with people that are in leadership roles. They are irresponsible. They can't have anything to do with this. And they're worried. They have to accept the things that they cannot change. They have to accept the responsibility for their own well-being. There's a lot of lessons that need to be learned, like gratitude and empathy. Like actually developing a purpose using patience in moments of indecision and doubt. And it could be that they are in doubt and they don't know what to do because we've got death here. It's over because you remained disciplined in your courage, in your strength, in your focus, in your balance, in your inner harmony. You remained disciplined and you gained your freedom. And because you did that, it's over. They can't take you off your spiritual throne. You are entering this new cycle as the messenger of love and restoring harmony. Balance. You are restoring. These ones did not get the Evermore. You are flipping that crap. There's no more third party situations here in the near future. They did not get the Evermore. They can't affect it anymore with their adversity. They're out of control. Collective energy, please, Spirit. Collective energy. So it's vanity. Eight of Pentacles reversed. They don't want to work for anything. They don't have any motivation. They want things to appear perfect, but they don't want to do the work to make it that way. They're greedy and vain. Misdirected activity. So whatever kind of activity they do, it isn't to develop or produce a reward. It's just to appear some way. And they're in regret and want to mend the connection with you because, and they, you know what they did. They can't fix it now. They meant to take you out. You weren't supposed to be here. It could be that you were supposed to be gone a long, long time ago, but you did not give up, and now they're facing poverty. They're in an Eight of Pentacles reverse. They did not earn anything. They didn't work for anything. They didn't earn anything. You are here in your Ace of Wands. You're standing there in passion, in truth. You are all fired up. And this vanity, this vain driver, this one who wanted to manipulate you out of habitual patterning is having an issue. They're having some concern. Because you're strong and you're on your throne. You persevered. You're not a reflection. You're this bright, shining beacon. And there's unfinished business. You're here. There's things to resolve and discuss. Now that everybody's calmed down, now that we're in the eye of the storm or whatever, or is it the after of mass effects? I don't know. It all depends on what people decide to do. We've got coffin in the reverse, so they couldn't put you in a coffin. You persevered, and you're on your throne. Hierophant. This Hierophant could have had a contract with you in a previous cycle, and the reason that they're in that position is because it was yours. This is your position that he hijacked and started teaching people to hurt people in third-party situations because he's a little whore. Enemy of the messenger of love and evermore. Nobody envies this person. They're feeling broken and shattered about it. Concerned. They want to reconcile. They can't horseplay around with you anymore. They're in their ego. There's a change here. Immature woman. Third party did not get the Evermore. They're out of control with this adversity. They're fighting amongst each other. They have a fear of sacrifice. It's their game, though. Their game is sacrifice. That's what they live by. That's how they gain their wealth. That's how they gain their status. But look, we got Evermore in the reverse and we got courtship in the reverse. So they don't get a marriage. They don't even get a courtship. They can't attach to another being like that after what they've done. in regards to intimacy and the ultimate trust with physicality and energy exchange. Lovers. There's a group who is fighting amongst each other. They were bringing conflict to lovers. This is their job. This is what this Hierophant taught these people. To go get a partner, a lover, and then bring conflict to them. And these ones are now, they don't have any courage because they're being denied. They don't get a courtship. They don't get an evermore. They don't even get any kind of a commitment. No commitments whatsoever. They cannot use love. The messenger of love, who knows that there is no greater goal than to love, says to these third parties, no. Thief. You don't get any commitment with anybody. You cannot use love for profit or gain in any way at all in this new cycle. No. You cannot take sudden wealth from people and use sex and intimacy and the facade of your love to gain, and then do shitty ass things in a family room against them to gain wealth. No. The messenger of love is saying no, right there. And they're feeling the absence. Because love is the goal, man. It's not money or things or status. It's love. Love is where it's at. Love is what makes it okay. When you fall down and you hurt yourself and you get road rash all over your body, say like you were riding downhill like I did one time, and I stood up on the bike pedals and took a hand off one to wave goodbye to somebody as they were rounding the corner, and I was going down a hill and the bike was too small and I went flipping over the front handlebars and I went sliding on the pavement. It was a horrible road rash. I slid forever. I had to roll, man. It was terrible. But it's kind of like that. When you get a boo-boo, I don't want to sit there. You don't just sit there and say, wow, wow, wow. You apply love to it. Loving care. And you make it okay. But these ones, what they did to love is like horrid. And so now when they go get road rash, there's not going to be anybody there to like apply some soothing ointment. There's just not going to be anybody there to do that. Like you had to, they're going to have to apply their own ointment. They're going to have to learn to scratch their own back. They're a thief. Trying to negotiate with you. Trying to negotiate with you, the messenger of love, on this spiritual throne that they martyred and took last cycle. And kept you in misery so that they could pretend that they were this big person in charge of relationships and love, marriage and union. This person really screwed it up. And then they had a whole freaking network. They're in trauma and despair. Look at that. Trauma and despair, trauma and despair. This Hierophant stole the throne of the messenger of love through false contract, most likely, and false intent. They can no longer play both sides of this table. They can't play God against the devil anymore. They didn't care about anything. But they knew you cared. They knew you cared. And they were jealous of your abundance. They weren't a limitless abundant being. That's why they weren't on that throne. This is what they are. But they were jealous of your status. They were jealous of your position. They were jealous of your authority. And now they're getting imprisonment. Because their stint, this explorer's stint with leadership is over. They're a liar and they're guilty. They're getting imprisonment. And your pathway is open. You're soon to go make a journey. You are a gift. And you could be getting married to you could be expecting to get married to a mature man. So he could be an older man or at least somebody who is, wise. This false person was working. They're all up in their head because they were working to take the unexpected income that belonged to that privileged lady, this main female. Yeah, they wanted the great fortune and the official person's status, but that's not them. They're under adjudication, a whole community of people. A whole community, whoever this Hierophant, this third wheel enemy, a whole community. Like probably many communities. This is worldwide. You can see the status of love and what has happened throughout the world when it comes to love. They martyred the messenger of freaking love for profit and status. When they are lazy, unmotivated, unwilling to work for anything, and yet demand perfectionism out of everyone. I'm the big wig, I'm the chosen one, I'm the one with the gifts, I'm this, I'm that. This wealthy man is in bad health. They're in the courthouse. They could be in bad health. I know, there's something's going on with the distant horizons. There's a change happening because this privileged lady is on her throne. She persevered. She's on her throne. She's courageous, and there is a change coming. She's got a job to do. She's got a job to do. They recklessly gambled with the messenger of love and her spiritual throne. They were trying to get sudden wealth doing things in a family room, but you got the main male here too who's in the house. He's high honor, and he also is innocent. It could be that there is a privileged lady and also a masculine here that these ones tried to bury. Where was that card? There was two, right, in the beginning. Where was that? There was two on that card. Well, and then we got marriage here. So, yeah, there is two. There is two. These ones, this Hierophant and whoever they were working with in the past, they're gone now. There's something happened. They've been relocated or whatever. So the main male and the privileged lady were able to persevere. And they're here. They're here. They're here. They're here. And the pathway is open and clear. This can't be the entirety of the planet. This has got to be a centralized location on the planet. Where a specific handful of folks go to be tested. And and it looks to me like perhaps communications had been destroyed or manipulated somehow by this Hierophant and his team of folks. And they were trying to weave an illusion so that they could rule with an iron fist everybody that enters this domain for teaching, and that they would never escape and never get out. You know, it would like a one way in, and then they would just be sent here and there according to their fancy and will. But somehow communications, I think, were fixed, and the truth was revealed. And the higher ups, the actual hierarchy, did an investigation. And what I love about it is that there's people who they inserted themselves into this particular realm of things. And, you know, many didn't survive. They perished because, you know, they were taken out as children or whatever. They were like God, you know, the bright lights, you know, boom, get them out, get them out, get them out, right? And so, but some of you made it through, and you were able to lift the frequency and the light vibe of this realm. And so you were able to lift that up inside of each other, and then you were able to do repair work, whether you know it or not, in the astral realms, you know. And you were able to make this shift possible. So it could very well be that there will be you wasn't there a portion of that said there could be a visitation? I think I said something like that. Fate. Oh, the ritual backfired. Their ritual backfired. They're protesting. Now, why would you protest when your own work failed? Who are you going to complain to? They're homeless. They're facing homelessness. It could be that they're losing their house. They've been cast away. No more third wheel enemies. No more third wheel enemies. They couldn't put you in a coffin. Messenger of love, you didn't give up. Messenger of love, you didn't let love die in you. Oh no, you didn't. You deserve to be on that freaking throne. You're the messenger of freaking love. Supposed to be on this throne, and this Hierophant stole your position and decided to teach this kind of shit. Trying to flip this. Boy, they hated you. It makes you wonder, like, why? I mean, I can see, you know, having a hyper sex drive or something, and maybe, you know, have fancy and many women. I think maybe I don't know. I mean, the power and lust and all that just got him going cuckoo or something. Now he's all stressed out because his rituals backfired and he's facing homelessness. Nobody wants to work with him. It failed. It could be that this coffin didn't hit you. The ritual backfired. The ritual backfired. It hit somebody in that third wheel enemy party. It hit one of them. It hit one of them. So this Hierophant wasn't able to get a marriage with you. You said no. They needed a contract with you. They needed permission to continue in this role. And when the contract came up, when the contract was done and it was time to renew the contract, something occurred. Thanks be to the gods and all of them in the hierarchy who are here right now to disturb the disturber. Jackwagon, he couldn't get a contract with you. That means you survived, you're alive, and you're taking your rightful freaking position. And everybody's going to know. Everybody's going to know. Because you're going to move into your position. He's concerned. Oh my gosh. People are going to know what he did. That he martyred his wife or whoever he gained a false contract with, only for this position and the wealth that came with it, and the status and the glory and all of that. He didn't give a shit about love or union or children or family or the makings of history. Only a facade, an illusion that they weren't even willing to work for. They had spirits do the work for them. They wouldn't even put forth the effort themselves. They had other people do the work. Whether they had the spirits doing nasty stuff to the people who only wanted to love and be loved. They would send in Jezebels to come in and tempt and destroy unions and leave mothers alone and fathers mentally disturbed, broken, struggling while they partied. It was a strategy, and they did it by mind reading. By tapping into the mental body of the collective field and by doing divination on people that they would target and then go do stuff to. It's amazing what you learn in 20 years of abuse, you know, and then through reading about it, it's like, wow. I mean, to gain an understanding, it's really incredible what you understand, what you learn, you know, through spirit really lays it on you sometimes, don't they? They were dominating people. They were dominating courtships. They were dominating marriages. They would come in and they would, you know, break them up and then be the new beau or the new gal. And then they would move in and take advantage of the house. And then, you know what? I don't know, cook something up, get married, cook something up, have a house. I mean, whatever. Whatever they needed to do to gain. Fraudulently. They did not reach their goal. They could not cause a nightmare for lovers in the new cycle. They're fighting amongst each other. They didn't reach their goal. They don't have any courage. They weren't able to get a commitment. They're being denied commitments. They don't get any more commitments. The messenger of love says, oh no, honey, you're done. You will not participate in courtship or marriage or anything to do with union or partnership at all. These ones are going to be out there wherever they're at. Whatever they worked with, it backfired. Whatever agreements they made, whatever commitments they made, whatever natural disasters and losses they wanted for you, it's all going back. They're feeling your absence. They're feeling the absence of love. Love was their meal ticket. And they shit all over it. And piled shit on it. And then paid people to come and take a big shit on it. Love is here with a new promise. Love is here with a promise. These mask-wearing thieves are going to feel your absence. It's time for friendships that you can trust. These ones are in despair, in trauma. They don't have objectivity. They can't play both sides of the coin anymore. They knew you cared. They knew you wanted the best for them. Nothing but the best. And you processed so much crap because you wanted it to be okay for them. But they were not, nor did they ever become, an abundant, limitless being. Even though they were rolling around in your wealth and your status and whatever, they are a hollow shell. They're a hollow shell. They can't manifest shit. They can't work for it in the physical. They can't manifest it by themselves. They have to get a human person to go do physical labor, and they have to get a spirit to go do their spiritual labor. Alone, they are nothing. I'm surprised they can go to the bathroom and wipe their own butt. Pardon my vulgarity, but it's true. It's that serious. And here they are, an explorer. I don't know if this is a time traveler who came back to try to disrupt familial unity and stuff. Masking themselves as a leader, I believe it is. And they're nothing but a liar, and they've been found guilty. They're guilty, and they're getting imprisoned. They're getting locked up. This won't happen again. They're getting locked up. Their whole network is protesting. The whole network is protesting. They're protesting your wealth, your unity, your family, your dwelling, your life, your ability to have a beautiful family tree that is strong and bright and full of love. They need to use caution. There's evidence of everything that they did trying to rob you, and they fell into a trap. You can relax. You can relax. They're disappointed because they don't know where you are, and they won't know where eternal love is. Wherever eternal love is going at the turn of this cycle, wherever we go flash, bang, boom, go to, I don't know, wherever we all are allocated to in our respective frequency matches or vibratory matches or planetary destinations or whatever that happens to be, or whatever realm or dimension or, wherever that winds up being. They won't know where you are. They're not going to know. This explorer or any time traveler that is looking to disrupt the family unit again and the ability to have a fantastic and very long-lived and strong, deeply rooted and very tall, reaching to the sky, family tree branches, full of vibrancy, even to the tiniest shoot. They won't know where that is. And they will have to live and learn. And the good news is you have your vitality and you're getting a new family tree. There's a new family tree. And they won't know where it's at, so they can't come and mess it up anymore. So you could be a light being, a Christed being, okay? You're full of light, you're here, and they came to try to put out your light, to put out your family tree, to put out your ability to have a beautiful family tree, to put out your ability to amass this beautiful lineage of power and might and wealth and abundance. They won't know where that's at. You're getting it though. You're getting a brand new family tree. These ones, see, because the previous was polluted. Whoever this is, they came in and they tried to flip it all upside down. Serving some other master or whatever. Serving some smokeless fire master. Anyhow, you're getting a new family tree. You're getting a new family. It's good news. You might even call it a miracle. We got one more pass here. We're already at 15 minutes. But, an hour and 15 minutes. But got to do one more pass. This is an important read. Doctor, they're sick. Their ritual backfired. They're bound to their commitments. They wanted natural disaster and loss for you is what's coming for them. They're sick. They don't have any motivation. They can't generate anything. They can't work for it with their hands. They can't work for it in the spirit. They got to have somebody else doing the work for them. They don't know how to generate anything. They're not a manifester. They're not a manifester. They can't even copy somebody else's work. They have to have somebody else do it. They're sick. Their ritual backfired. They're in poverty. They want to mend the connection. They're in regret. They're facing homelessness. They have habits they'll never change. They got a message of concern. They're vain, and they wanted to drive your life. And maybe they were driving your life. I mean, after all, they were on your throne. And it was because of a marriage. You married them. You contracted with them in some previous life. And they've just been martyring you over and over and over, having this beautiful position, crapping all over the messenger of love, having a great time, thinking they could do it for eternity. Their scholar is all up in their heads about the services that they provided. You're honest and you're strong-willed. And these ones are sick. They're in despair. They're sick. They're suffering. They're in a malady. Everything that they built on your status is crumbling. On your status, on your energy, on your identity. They thought they were going to sell you off to a merchant. They thought they were going to say goodbye so long forever this cycle, and it didn't work out. You didn't give up. You didn't go into the dirt this time. You withstood the suffering, the unbearable, unbelievable suffering. You withstood it. And they're in sorrow. They could not put you in a coffin. They could not get you to join in to the third world enemy situation. What'd you do? Did you go all celibate on people or what? You went within. You didn't join into the affairs. They couldn't put you in a coffin. They couldn't pollute your essence, your love energy. See, you're the messenger of love. And they wanted you in this. They wanted to embroil you in this. They wanted you to turn out to be a little hoe bag. And you just said no. And you may not even know you're the messenger of love that's supposed to be in this position here, teaching people about love and unity and marriage. They kept love from you. They kept marriage from you. They kept a decent family from you. Your siblings, your parents, everybody probably hated you as the black sheep. Your friends, your boyfriends, whoever probably treated you like shit and disrespected you and treated you like you were nothing. And it was a program by these ones to destroy the messenger of love. Love so bad they traveled back in time to marry somebody who is seated, the messenger of love who is seated on a spiritual throne, teaching about love and unity and partnership and loyalty and all of that. Somebody actually traveled back in time, married that person, disrupted their divine union, trapped them, and then effed everything up. Created this whole scenario. But she survived and he survived and now they're together and shit's hitting the fan and they don't have a choice but to sit down and get out. Pleasure seekers in the reverse. No more pleasure seeking for them. These haughty people, because the reunion happened. They were faithful, and they're going to be going on a journey. This thief tried to steal the fortune that belongs to this lover. They're in melancholy because they're a false friend and they're getting dead. They're going to get the death penalty or whatever. They're a false friend. So this could be somebody who said, I don't know what happened. Something happened. It's like this Hierophant, he set up some weird scenario. They had an affair with the messenger of love seated on the throne, and her husband probably went rah and ballistic, and then they both got martyred and sent to hell or whatever, sentenced to some crime, right? And then this guy took over, but it was all a lie. It was all a scam. It was all magical freaking shit. Look at the garbage that these people did. People are talking about it. The wedding happened. The sweetheart was consistent and true. That was a liar. It never happened. The messenger of love never had an affair. The messenger of love never cheated on her husband. And he never cheated on his wife. It was a lie. This soldier traveled back in time and targeted this wife. This innocent, pure, loving wife he's in trouble. No mercy. See you on the next one, everybody.